Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and I want to start this video off with an apology if there are any audio or visual problems. Then please do accept my apologies. I'm currently working on a borrowed laptop because my main laptop decided on Saturday just to crash. When I opened it and that turned it on, they said the shit grey screen. I tried for hours to YouTube it and fix it, couldn't fix it. Sent it to a local guy who's supposed to be shit on computers. He had it for 2 days, claiming he could fix it, and then he said no, the graphics board's fucked on it. It's a Dell Inspiron something or other. The graphic board's fucked on it, and he can't source a replacement. Apparently, it's not a common fault, but it's something that happens, and he can't source a replacement graphics board, so he's basically said it's unfixable. Now, that's just one person's opinion. I'm going to take it to a computer shop this afternoon and see if they can do anything with it, and get a second opinion, if you will. But yeah, if anyone's got any ideas on maybe if the guy who I took it to originally is talking bollocks or not, I'd very much appreciate it. Apparently, it's a relatively common problem, but I mean, for it to be unfixable seems fucking ridiculous to me, but who knows, maybe it is. So yeah, we're recording this just using OBS, which isn't as good as Camtasia for recording, on an older computer that a friend was very generous and lent to me. So yeah, the quality might not be as good as usual, but hopefully it won't be too bad, and it's better than producing no content at all. I've had some really nice compliments about the last few videos I've made at 10NL, taking the time to explain more. We're going to do that again today, and hopefully it's better than nothing, and that's about as good as we can get for now, until either my main laptop gets fixed or my new laptop that I've ordered from Dell, who might add are fucking ridiculous. They're basically saying it's a 7 to 16 day delivery time on a computer that's effectively just bought off their online shelf. It's a decent spec computer, but nevertheless I haven't asked for any additional extras, and they still seem to tell me that it's not going to be here for like 7 to 16 days. It's been a pretty tilting few days technology wise. I've not managed to play much poker because of that, and also because I've been cramming some work in because my contract has officially ended as of yesterday. So it's been a kind of busy, stressful few days, but I've got a nice few days off now where hopefully we can just chill out. I'm not going to be playing too much on Sky because this computer I'm borrowed, Sky doesn't seem to like it too much, so we're going to be playing a lot more Snap. Hopefully if this video turns out to be okay on YouTube, produce some videos, and I'm going to be playing probably some 30NL as well, although not recording that. So yeah, away we go. Seems like a good start to the video. We don't mind a little bit of pocket kings. Very wet flop. I think it's big c-bet time here, and if we get called, we're not going to proceed. Well, we're going to proceed with extreme caution on any kind of card that connects with this flop. So an 8, a queen, a 9, a heart, a 10 or a jack. They're all pretty dreadful cards for us. We're going to be hoping not to see any of them, and to be frank, I'm happy just to take it down on that board texture and not have too many tough turn decisions or tough turn situations. I'm going to stab here on table 2 and just only continue on good turns for us. Red ones, kings, jacks, maybe a 10. Definitely continue on this card, and we're going to upsize significantly with our sizing. If we get raised, we're probably going to have to fold unless he makes it tiny. If we bet $1 here, he raises to like $3.30, we have to fold. If he makes it smaller, then we can call. Hopefully he just folds though. He doesn't fold, and that's a dreadful card to triple barrel bluff on. He's going to have a lot of straights here, a lot of 2 pairs, etc. It's just not a good board for a triple. We would have absolutely tripled on a king or a jack or a heart. It's just a really bad card. I don't expect him. I mean, he could have all kinds of 2 pairs and straights here. So we're just going to give up. And he did just have. Ooh, glad the red one didn't come. Very glad the red one didn't come. That would have been expensive. Yeah, I think he's played that hand fine there. I think we played it fine too. And bet this river over here on table 1 just for some thin value. We think any pair calls at this point. Bit of a loose isolation with the 10-9 off. It wouldn't be best of hands to do it with. It doesn't always flop too well. It doesn't really present too much backdoor equity, but nevertheless we have the button, we have a limper. It's certainly the correct play. It's just kind of towards like the weaker part of our range for doing so. King Deuce. I think we're just going to let the King Deuce go versus the 3x. Ten Jack on the button versus a 3x open from the cutoff. It's just going to be a fold, I think. 10 Jack suited, we can toy with the idea of 3-betting or calling with it. I think 10 Jack off's just going to be a little bit too weak. We don't want to 3-bet with it. If we call and we get squeezed in the blinds, there's no real way we can continue. It's just not strong enough. Holding the ace deuce to the pot size open from under the gun. Going to be raising the ace jack. If it folds round to us, I'm quite possibly 3-betting it if someone makes an isolation raise from one of the later positions. I know this guy's a regular. I think he's reasonably aggressive. Not sure how loose he is. I think this looks like a weak isolation sizing to me. I think if he had like a true good high value hand like aces, kings, etc., he'd probably want to raise a little bit more versus 2 limpers. I think we should have gone bigger with our... Yeah, that's too small. We should have been up at like 150-ish there, I feel. I mean, if this guy 4-bets versus the under the gun limp call, then we probably save money on our 3-bet because we can't continue versus a 4-bet from this fella. But yeah, we definitely should have gone bigger here. 134 is not enough. It's a poor choice of sizing by me. Would have much preferred 150 versus 2 limps and a 4x. We've been donked into here on a pretty dry board. We do have a gut shot to the nuts, and I think we are going to raise with our 2 overs now. Gut shot to the nuts. Pretty awful board for someone who's limp called under the gun. We have like no fold equity versus all these pairs, etc. We're just going to give up here. What is going on here? We're getting 6-1. Assuming our queen and our jack are going to be good, plus the 10, I think we just have to call here and just fold all rivers. When someone goes like donk called donk. Even though it's just shit sizing, this looks very much to me like he just has like 9x, 7x. But I just don't think we're going to get him to fold it given the line we've taken. We didn't want to raise the turn again, and now raising the river just doesn't represent anything. Just represents pure bullshit. Yeah, it's just a sad face fold. Don't know anything about this dude whatsoever, but we're going to 3-bet the 8-7 suited on the button just because it's a reasonably nice hand to go 3-betting with against people who may be opening relatively wide ranges. It's got a lot of playability post-flop, especially on a flop like this. And kick it off with a smallish c-bet. If we get raised, I guess we just have to go with our hand and slam the rest of the money in. Although we won't be particularly pleased to do so. So he's called a 3-bet out of the big blind. He's going to be like pocket pair heavy here, I would imagine, and like broadways, king, queen, ace, queen, etc. I'm going with the overbet here, and if he jams on us, then we really are going to be quite upset, but we're just going to have to call it off. Never mind. 2 kings. Fair dues. Fair enough. Surprised he doesn't call 4-bet pre. But when we choose the small c-bet sizing, you can still have like a lot of hands that he's just going to fold to the kind of pressure a turnover bet brings. And when he doesn't fold, then by then we're just like super priced in with our flush draw, and we just have to go with it. It looks spewy, but I think it's fine. I think either giving up on the turn or going with the overbet is probably the 2 best lines to use. Perhaps giving up in these games is maybe better than going with the overbet, but we elected to go with the aggressive option and it didn't work out. I'm going to fire a 3rd barrel here on the king. This puts if he's got anything that isn't a king, it puts huge pressure on. We're not trying to make him fold a king here. We're trying to make him fold 8x, trying to make him fold flush draws that have us high carded, etc. And it looks like it's not our day. When he min raises a river there, he's just like so strong. It doesn't matter anyway because we have queen 10 high, so it really doesn't matter. We get called in 2 spots here on this incredibly wet board, but we get one of the safer turn cards. So we're going to continue with a large bet. Would absolutely fold into a raise here, despite the fact there's a plethora of draws out there. We're just going to bet big here and fold to a raise because I don't think anyone's going to semi-bluff raise on this turn. If they don't choose to semi-bluff raise to flop, there's only really like picked up hearts that are probably going to want to semi-bluff the turn. I'd lost a couple of big-ish pots. Well, one big pot and one medium-sized pot so far. Things haven't gone our way, but that's fine. Right, this guy has aces, but we have 2 9s and he has no money, so let's go. 10s, never mind. Not aces, but for all intents and purposes, the same thing. Go on, you big 9 on the river. We'll have a bit of that. We'll have a little bit of that, sir. Player 27, report to the rail. Chips, please. Player 27. He limp calls the button. This doesn't rate to hit a button limp calling range too hard. Trying to think of a sizing here. Probably smallish. Just to like try and keep some of the weaker parts of his range. And these snap calls, you know, just hope he's got like an ace-5 or an ace-8 or something like that, and try and get 2 streets from a hand like that. I mean, if he's got a flush draw, he's not calling. If he's got a busted straight draw, he's not calling. So we're just going to go big here. Try and target all his ace-X that isn't all too paired up, or full houses now. If he jams, we're going to have to call. But he didn't. We wouldn't beat very much if he jammed, but he might have just worse trips sometimes. That would possibly take the same line. A 3-bet here with the king queen just to isolate this guy who isn't playing a full stack, who's min raised under the gun. Squeeze or call here. Given that we're deep, I think I prefer just calling, because I think because we're deeper, people are just going to call 3-bets lighter, and then we're going to be deep out of position in a bloated pot, which it's no one's idea of fun, that is it. 100 blinds deep, I think I would maybe go for a squeeze there, but like 140 blinds deep or whatever it is, we were not so much. In a 3-bet here, a small blind when we raise under the gun, this just represents enormous strength most of the time. I think if we 4-bet here and get it in, we're just going to be in really, really rough shape. So we're just going to call and try and play some poker post flop. And he makes a pretty big c-bet. This is a bad in these games. Players that are currently like doing really well and being like good at poker, so to speak, and not choosing these sizings in 3-bet pots, and especially not on these boards. Just makes like a really easy fold for us here. I mean, typically now you're seeing people go with like anything 60 through 80 on these types of flops. Yeah, I think he's made a mistake there with his sizing. I mean, c-bet sizing in 3-bet pots down the years have just got smaller and smaller and smaller as time goes on. It used to be pretty normal to like just c-bet almost full pot in 3-bet pots. Then like 50% became the thing, and now it's like 40%, 30%, 25%. So when I do see some dude just like 2/3 potting it in a 3-bet pot, I'm just going to think, at best, bad reg. Maybe even worse, could just be a fish. I mean, it seems like he's playing more than one table, so I'm going to presume bad regular more than fish. But if you are using like the 2/3 of what have you pot size bets post flop, especially in 3-bet pots, do consider using much smaller sizes. Go away and find some stuff on YouTube regarding post flop bet sizing in 3-bet pots, and or watch some videos, watch some streamers. You'll see everyone's at it these days. It's really good. It allows you to c-bet more of your range, because a lot of the time it's a 3-bet pot, you're out of position, you're going to have a strong range, but you don't always hit. So it's like really good to just allow you to c-bet more of your range and just get your opponents to fold equity with a really high frequency. It works really well. It gives you more scope to be creative on turns and rivers because the pots aren't as big. You can still maybe fire 2 small barrels and still leave like 50 bigs behind for the river, for whichever you want to do. It allows you to build pots with your strong hands versus weaker ranges from your opponents, because they just feel maybe they can't always get away from some of their weaker made hands. It just allows for way more post-flop creativity, well, more like turn and river creativity, rather than making the big flop c-bet and then just kind of leaving your hands tied quite often post-flop on turns and rivers. Sorry, when you bet 2/3 pot, your opponent's called, all of a sudden you've just left with like an SPR of like 1.2 on turns, with a lot of the time just I don't know, some bluffs that you don't really feel you can continue on now with just over a pot size bet left. So yeah, if you are someone who's still making some really large c-bets post-flop, c-bets in 3-bet pots, definitely consider downsizing. It will lead you to some spots that you're not particularly familiar with and maybe don't feel super comfortable with to begin with, but that's how we learn. We experience new positions, we experience new things. We're like, oh, not sure what to do here, not sure what to do there. You go away, you ask questions, you get better. You always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always had. Something like that. Was that the same? Something like that anyway, isn't it? No one ever got better at poker by just standing still and hoping the field got worse. Or no one's results improved, should I say, by doing that. You've got to keep moving. Got to keep following the trends, and even if you don't understand them, you've got to follow them, start adopting them into your play, and then figuring out when you're doing it well, when you're not doing it well. You can't just ignore these new trends, because most of them, they come from higher stakes, they filter down, they come from people using solvers. They're just good plays. Now, you might not understand them yet, you might not understand why they're good plays, but if you start to mimic them and then figure out when you're using it, when you're using it well, when you're misusing it, etc., eventually it's going to lead to you having more skills, more tools in the box. And go away, ask questions. I've been toying with these like small c-bets, but I've not been having great success on certain board textures. Am I doing something wrong? Am I just running bad, etc.? Yeah, just go away, do the work, start introducing new players, and try your best to figure out for yourself why something works well or why it doesn't work well. But if you just can't figure it out, then tons of resources. My Facebook group will be a good one. Reddit, if you don't mind being abused by every fucking shite angry reg in the world. Same goes for 2+2. Say just watch streamers, watch as much free content as you can get on YouTube. Or if you can afford it, then get yourself a subscription to something like Micro Grinder if you're a real beginner and you want a nice, affordable, cheap intro into poker coaching and poker training. Or if you're an intermediate player, go to your Run It Once. Probably better than Upswing. I've not really used either very much, but I think I prefer Run It Once to Upswing. Speculate to accumulate, guys. You've got to spend a few quid, or just come and think about having a couple of sessions with me. I have not got the whole small bet sizing thing down pat yet by a long stretch, but there's lots of other parts of your game that I can almost certainly help you with, particularly if you're playing these games and not winning consistently in them. I'm 100% convinced if you're playing 10NL, Snap or Zoom or whatever, and you're not a consistent winning player, I guarantee I will help you improve. Not saying you're guaranteed to become a winning player, but I will absolutely 100% guarantee you will leave sessions with me saying, yeah, I feel like I've improved here, I feel like I've learned something. That can't be a bad thing, especially not at my prices. No pay, no draw. He was just giving up versus donk bet. I do like to get after donk bets where I can with aggression, or at least float them. But when we have just a King 7 off on the Jack XX, I think it's one we can definitely let go. I was about to go for a check raise on this board texture with our raise jack, but our opponent snap checked back, so kind of denied us a chance to do that. Even his check calls on a relatively dry board, I'm going to assign him a range of like Jack X and worse, like Jack X, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, 7X maybe. And we're going to bet small 2 streets just to get value from all of those types of hands. Folding to a raise almost certainly. Except when he min raises, which makes you want to puke. Turn check min raise after check calling on this dry flop. It's just so strong here, but we just can't fold to the min raise. Don't think he has stuff like 10-9. I think he has like a set of deuces, set of 7s, maybe. I don't think he has flush draws either, not when the turn min raise comes in. I think we just need to be folding here. I mean, maybe King Jack does this once in a while. I think it's going to be a bad call. I expect to see 7s and deuces a lot here. Jack 10 spades, one of the few value hands we beat. Sorry for the if you think that was a slow roll there, buddy. If you are ever watching the video, I'm genuinely on the cusp of folding because it's just nearly always a value line there, and just so few value hands we beat. King Jack, chop with Ace Jack. Didn't like my line there. I didn't like the situation. I think the river, by and large, against the population, I think the river is I think it's not a good call. I made it, but I didn't like it, and I don't think it's a particularly good call versus the population. If he jams the river there, I fall for sure. In terms of what he did, I think it was way too thin. Way too thin. For value. He just never gets caught by a worse there. I'd have preferred it we'd turned his hand into a bluff and just jammed to like put pressure on my like pocket aces, kings, queens, stuff like that. If he jammed the river as a bluff, I'd have liked it. He value bet 3 and I didn't like it much. I'm thinking of folding ace jack there. Like what worse hands are going to call? This is a board I would check raise with a very high frequency, given that it's much better for our range, you would imagine, than under the guns range. The fact we have a pair and a flush draw just makes it more exciting to do so. We're going to get it in behind here quite a lot versus bigger pairs, etc. But we just have so much equity and his stack so short, I don't really care, to be frank. Jack 6. If I was playing on my own computer, I would definitely be tagging our friend there as something of a monkey. Sucking out on fish in this video. It's not It's not what we want to be doing. I mean, I'll take it, don't get me wrong, I will absolutely take the suck out all day, but we don't want to be just getting it in bad and being forced to have to suck out to get the job done. Could squeeze a gain here. We are a lot deeper multi-way. I don't think we're going to have enough fold equity, and we're just going to end up, like we talked about earlier, out of position with the marginal hand in a bloated pot. So we're just going to take a flop and go from there. I have huge respect for c-bets in multi-way pots. We have a double gutter here, but we're only drawing to the nuts on a 6, and a spade's no good. I think this is just a fold. Way too many, like, when we can't hit a 10 and guaranteed to be good. King Queen obviously beats us then. If we hit a spade, then we can't be sure we're good. If we hit like the 6 of spades or 10 of spades, yeah, we're just going to fold. We're just going to go with a check call here to begin with. It's not the type of board you typically want to be check raising on. It's not. It's much better for our opponent's range than it is ours, even though we do have a really strong hand here. We're just going to go with a check call. I'm going to go with the raise now. We can get lots of value from ace king, ace queen, etc. We don't really want to see like a 9 or a 10 come on the river and make that difficult, or a queen, something like that. Well, at this point we're just going to call it off if he jams. Top 2 nut flush draw. Guess we could just call again there. Easy fold to the cold 4-bet, which is almost never a bluff in these games. 4-bets in general are super rare bluffs in these games, in my opinion, and cold 4-bets are just so nutted that I have no problem folding much stronger hands than ace 7 there, never mind hand as weak as ace 7. Easy fold here with the ace queen being squeezed, and then under the guns put the 4-bet in. Trivially easy fold. And yeah, we would have won the pot, but I'm very surprised he's 4-bet with 9s there. That seems excessively loose and aggressive. Seems needlessly loose and aggressive in my opinion to 4-bet 9s there, but good for him. Going to stab 1C with R7s, just hope to fold out any equity he may have. Although I'm not sure what he's going to actually fold. Don't think he's going to fold 2 overcards. In fact, no, we're just going to check and get counterfeited. I think fuck our lives. We've tried to isolate a limp here from the small blind. We've been called in 2 spots and we haven't really flopped very well. I'm just giving up. I meant to make that 23 there, not 33. Don't suppose it makes a huge difference, but it was still a small mistake. I'm going to just fire 1 barrel here. I mean, yeah, he gets to bluff us now with King Queen and things when we check Queen Jack, etc. And we don't get to fold out things like pocket 7s, pocket 8s, but when we get called on that board, I'm just willing to give it up. Check raise flop, check raise good turns is the plan here. Or brick turns, should I say. Seems like a brick to me. Obviously no intention of folding if this dude goes all in. Four's not ideal because now we lose to aces. But of course we go all in and we win. Very worried this guy has like pocket 5s exactly here. If he has, he has. He didn't. I mean, that call turn of, sorry, call flop and fold turn there seems like pretty fucking grim from this dude. Well, happy days. Not going to set man versus somebody who's starting with less than 50 bigs. Mandatory call here as deep as this with the 2-8s. We're not in love with the situation, of course, and if this guy like back raises, then we want to puke, but we can't fold 2-8s versus a squeeze, especially not this deep. This guy's just said the donk on the 10 turn. I'm going to give up. Giving up here too, no set, no bet. And again, still just giving up. And here was a set of sixes, which is pretty annoying. What did the other dude have? Ace Queen. Yeah, so we were right to just keep checking. We would have lost either way up. It's a pretty rough flop for 4-3 suited. I'm going to go a bit bigger here, given our opponent's very likely to be a fish. We're not going to enjoy getting raised. I don't expect to get raised too often. Just going to play around to our blinds now. We're approaching the 45-minute mark. Flop a set to finish, or to nearly finish. I think versus this stack size, I'm comfortable. If a diamond or something comes off, it's not super pleasing. But the plan is just check call flop, check champ, check shove turn. And we take another reasonable sized pot down. It's been a good session. We've dragged some nice pots. So there we go, that's the end of the video. We haven't quite reached the 45-minute mark, but hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you, if there are any visual or audio issues, I hope you understand it's because we're playing on a less than not super modern computer. Again, not being ungrateful, very nice of my friend to lend it to me. Hopefully I'll have a decent spec computer back sooner rather than later, but hopefully we can continue making these videos regardless of which computer we're on, and we can just keep the series going. Take care everybody, have a great day, and goodbye for now.